welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another episode of Vlogmas. I just went out and did some Christmas shopping, last minute Christmas shopping, bright and early. It's super early in the morning on a Saturday, and yeah. So I wanted to tell you about the book that I just finished reading. I just finished listening to this audiobook while I was in the store, and it is Curio. So it's sold as an erotic, well, it's sold as erotica, but I actually don't know if it's listed as erotica or erotic romance, but I personally would categorize it as erotic romance. And it is basically a short novella about a woman who just turned 30 and she hasn't lost her V card yet, and she's living in Paris. She's an American, and she works at an art museum, and she starts seeing pictures and hearing about this absolutely beautiful male model who is also a prostitute. And he's very well known for not only being a very attentive and exceptional lover, but also being very, like, emotionally there. Like, if you want him to be your boyfriend for a night, he can be your boyfriend for a night. If, you know, like, he's just a very sensitive guy. And she's like, he's perfect. And so she goes to him, and they end up having several meetings before the actual event happens, sort of like intimacies are shared. And let me just tell you, I picked this book up because it was recommended on a thread on Twitter, and everybody was like talking about how much they loved this. So I was like very intrigued. And this is not the type of book that I would typically pick up based on like the summary alone. Like this, I would never, like, that's not just the type of thing that I'm like, you know what I really want is a prostitute romance. But I have to tell you, I loved this. This was short. This was beautiful. The writing in this was superb. And I am really very impressed at the level of depth and nuance that the characters and the romance had that was developed over such a short time. I did end up giving it 4 stars instead of 5 because I feel like the ending was a little too abrupt. And however, this does like carry on. Their story continues in future books. But there were moments in this book that were so beautiful and so emotional, where you could see like these two souls connecting, even as they're like trying not to because of the barriers of like the arrangement that they have, and how like you find out the hero's history, and the heroine like starts to really like, I don't want to say flower, but you know, like develop this confidence about who she is that she didn't realize before. Like, this was very good. If you have access to this, I listened to it on Scribd. It's super short, 4 hours. I wouldn't consider this to be super spicy, but if you're looking for something that is heavily intimate and is layered with emotion and nuance, like, I would definitely pick this up. This was a very good surprise. I really enjoyed this, and I want to continue on the series for sure. So I just thought I would update you with that really quickly because I just finished it while it was fresh on my mind. But this was just a really beautiful, surprising, fun. I just loved the heck out of this. This was very, very good. Now I want to read like everything this author has written because her writing style vibes with me very much. So, all right, I'm going to run into the house, take my groceries in, and start my Saturday. Kazi, do you bring me your toy? You brought me your toy? This is his little, I think it was an alligator. Do you want this? Ready? Get it. Uh-oh. My bad. Here you go. Ready? Get it. That boy. Hello, friends. Welcome back. I am going to do the tea tasting. It's blueberry something. I can't remember exactly what. It was in the B-roll, blueberry something. It's good. It's blueberry. You can definitely taste the blueberry, but there's like this herbal note to it, which I'm not sure. It's probably in the, oh, sage. That's what it was. It was blueberry sage. Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's exactly what this tastes like. It literally tastes like blueberry sage. So that's pretty good. It's not my favorite because it kind of reminds me of like patchouli in a health food store. And while I do enjoy health food, I don't enjoy that smell. So anyway, okay. I also wanted to show you this beautiful book Jessen just sent me with the most beautiful note. Made me cry. Thank you so much, Jessen. This is sort of like a spin-off of the original Fae Guardians. This one is the vampire series, which I've been wanting to read so much. I read The Longing of Lone Wolves like way back in the early beginning part of the year, and I really, really, really loved it. I read the first 2 books, and then I wanted to get to this series so badly, and I'm so excited to have this. Like, I love these hardcover editions because they're full of, like, art, too. Like, ooh, that's a beautiful picture. I can't show you, but it's really good. Like, I'm sorry, I'm so lame, huh? I'm my old lady. I'm trying to find a good illustration to show you. Let's see. I want to find a really pretty one to share with you because I love these hardcover editions. I think, here's one I'll show you so we don't take up all the time, but look at that. They're full of, like, illustrations, and I really love the trend of, like, special editions or romances coming illustrated. Like, I love that so much, so I'm very excited about these. These are, like, I think these are very fast-paced, very easy to get into. I really like the world building, and I just enjoy it a lot, so I'm excited about this. Thank you so much, Jessen. And then I want to talk to you about the physical book that I'm going to read this weekend, because today is Saturday, the 17th. Literally, Christmas is in a week. And I still have gifts to buy. But, anyway, I am reading Funny Feelings. Are you okay, puppy? What are you doing? He's like coughing and being weird. Do you want to come see the people? Can I come up here? Oh, hello. Oh, goodness. So anyway, I'm reading Funny Feelings, and this is really, really beautifully well done. I really like the writing style. I really like the characters. I think that the author is really good at creating, like, good banter and really this very visceral feeling of longing between these 2 characters, because this is definitely a case of, like, mutual pining and a fake relationship. We have Farley, who is the heroine, who is a comedian, and her manager, Meyer, is, like, he used to be a comedian, and then he kind of retired to be, like, a manager and promote other comedians. And so, like, stand-up comedy is a huge part of this book, which I wasn't really sure how I would feel about that, because I'm not, like, a huge lover of stand-up comedy. I just don't, it's not, like, a type of media that I love to seek out or that I find a lot of joy in. But I think that the author's note in the beginning, and here in my eye, talks a lot about the impact that humor and laughter has on your mental health, and I really, really loved that. And so I was excited, once I read that author's note in the beginning, I was excited to see how she was going to tell this romance and how she was going to, like, weave that in. And, you know, like, she makes a point of saying comedy, laughter, it's not therapy, but it can be really helpful to pull you out of dark times, and I totally agree with that. So I do like their connection. I do like the characters. It's basically the premise, you know, they have this background history. Also, there's a little girl, Meyer's little girl. He's a single dad who is deaf, and I think that the deaf representation in here is really, really well done. I like how sign language is included. I like how the language they're using around the little girl and her hearing loss is depicted. I have a son who has hearing loss, and I'm pretty sensitive to books that depict that, and I think it's really well done here. And so the heroine gets this opportunity to, like, tour with these big name comedians, but they want her to be in, like, a fake relationship to sort of get people excited about her act and to come and watch her. So she asks Meyer to enter into that fake relationship with her, and it's just really, really beautiful how they are both agreeing to this because they care about each other. They're friends, which I really like too. I'm so happy to see a great friends to lovers. But the thing that is really just, like, keeping me on the edge of my seat and wanting me to continue reading is the way that longing is expressed between the 2 of them. How you get alternating points of view, and one moment you'll hear from the heroine and how she wants to do this or to him, like touch him or stand next to him, and how he wants to do that to her. And it's just, like, it's just really, really great. I really, really, really am liking it. So I'm very happy about this. I picked this up specifically because Zay was talking to me about it a lot, and she was like, you have to read that book. And then Jessen just recently read it, and she loved it, and I was like, well, now I really have to read it. So that's the physical book I'm going to be reading that I hope, if all goes well, to finish to include in this vlog. But I have family coming over tomorrow, so maybe I won't get a ton of reading done. But if I do, this is the book I'm most excited to continue reading. So All right, thank you for joining for this update. I'll check in with you all tomorrow.
Hark how the bows, sweet silver bells, all seem to say, throw cares away. Christmas is here, bringing good cheer to young and old, meek and the bold. Ding dong, that is the song with joyful ring, all caroling. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how they pound, raising their sound. Oh, hill and dale, telling the tale. Gaily they ring, while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here. Merry, 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 merry Christmas. Merry, merry, merry Christmas. Song with joyful ring, how caroling. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how they pound.
Hello friends. Okay, today is Sunday, December 18th. I have the tea. My oldest son is coming over today. We're going to celebrate his birthday, and I made him a cake, so that's why my hair is pulled back. Because if I don't pull my hair back when I'm cooking, then everybody finds long red hairs in their food, and that's gross. I know, baby boy. I know, baby boy. So here is today's tea. It is just called Christmas, which it smells delightfully Christmassy. That is honestly like probably the most festive tea I've ever drank in my life. It's very, I mean, like there's cloves in there, I can tell. It literally just feels like going into your grandma's or your parents' house for Christmas, and it's a delight. It's a delight. 10 out of 10 for this. Okay, so let's talk about the audiobook that I picked up. So I have been wanting to read this book for several years. I've had the Kindle. Once again, this is another case of where I've known about this book. I've had the Kindle book sitting on my Kindle for years, I feel like, because this little novella often goes on sale around this time of year, and actually is free right now. It's A Holiday by Gaslight. And I know that Jessin read this last year and really loved it, and she put it on her podcast, the Smart Women Read Romance podcast, and that just barely came out. And then Polly brought this to my attention again. Like, she reminded me, she's like, I think you'd really love that because you know North and South. And if you didn't follow me on Instagram, this is the year where I discovered North and South, the BBC miniseries, and absolutely lost my mind over it. I just love it so much, okay? And so I want to read this so bad, and I just felt like if I don't read it now, I'm not going to get to it this year, you know, because even though it does have like Christmassy vibes, it's not necessarily like so far, I'm about halfway through it. It's not necessarily a Christmas book, you know. I mean, it is like there's a Christmas party by Gaslight and all that stuff, but let me just tell you, if you love North and South, the miniseries with, oh my gosh, what is his name? You know, Thorin Oakenshield, that actor, what is his name? I know his name, it just completely left my mind. Anyway, if you are a fan of that show, I cannot believe I forgot his name. This is what happens when I come to talk to you. Names leave my mind. I don't know. That's why I always say hero and heroine, okay? That actor. If you love that show, if you love the romance in there, like, you must read this. You must read this. It's free. As of today, this is free on Kindle. I'm not even kidding you, because let me just tell you, I'm halfway in. My heart is like pounding when I am reading these very small, subtle interactions that show the feelings towards one of them. And she captures that. I need to clarify, it's not a direct retelling of the North and South, but it is heavily influenced by that. And the author herself has said this is sort of her ode to North and South and how much she loves it. And as a new fan, but a diehard fan of that show, let me just tell you, that is 100% the vibes you get from this. Like, the hero in here is very much similar in he's like a self-made man. He doesn't come from anything. He has a background in cotton even, and he's very like taciturn and closed off and doesn't really show his emotions very well. And like, I love that type of hero when it's done well. And it is done well here for me, because the thing that makes that work for me is it's not just that. Or it's not 90% that and 10%. It's not even just like 80% that and 10% him being like revealing how he feels for her. I don't know the exact percentage, okay? But there are some lines in here that are literally making me lose my mind. Because when it's so good, because their engagement breaks off, right? She breaks off the engagement or they weren't even technically engaged. They were courting. And she breaks it off because she felt like he didn't have feelings for her. And so she goes to sort of try and make amends with him because situations with her family and everything. And she's like, you didn't even like me. And the things he tells her about what he noticed about her, about things that he like deduced from what clothes she was wearing, about what that says about her personality, like the way that he talks about her in his mind, it's just like, it's just so good. It's so good. It really captures that feeling of North and South. And if you love that sort of like closed off type of hero who is very, very, very slowly like unraveling, it's just so good. It's just a pure delight. So far, I'm not going to be surprised if this is a 5-star read. Like, I would be surprised if it wasn't a 5-star read. So I'm okay. I'm going to leave this clip here. I'll come back tonight and let you know my final thoughts on that, because I will finish that, and hopefully I'll have a chance to finish Funny Feelings too. But I may not include my review on that if I don't have time to talk about it, because that's a book I really want to talk about. So I might... Actually, okay, I will save Funny Feelings for the next vlog. I'll talk about it in my next vlog, and I'll just come back and tell you more about Holiday by Gaslight in the final clip. Okay? I'll see you in a bit. Hi friends, I have once again made the mistake of filming without my tripod, so my hand is probably going to, oh, you know, get tired, but... Oh my gosh, I'm terrible at this. Hold on. Okay. I can't hold it with that other hand. I don't know why I do this. You'd think this was like my first video, not like my 400th. But anyway, I finished A Holiday by Gaslight, and I loved that. I gave it 5 stars. It was so beautiful. It was just such a delight. Like, I don't even know how else to describe it. The characters were beautifully developed and written out. I really, really loved the moments that we got of romance. Like, if I wanted to be real picky, I would say this is like a 4.5, not quite a 5, only because I wanted more of the romantic moments because they were so good. But there was also some moments with like the family members and her sister and things like that, which wasn't bad. But I feel like if you're going to do a novella and you're going to include more family stuff like that, don't. Like, put that in a full book. I would gladly read a whole book of this couple and this family. And I just definitely would have preferred there to be more focus on the romance, although I loved. Like, what we got was perfection. Perfection. It was just so good. I loved it. It made me like swoony and sigh, and I thought it was just so good. So anyway, yeah, that's all. I am gonna give it 5 stars because it's truly if you want that North and South vibe, the feeling of that couple and that romance, like, you have to read this. Like, you just have to. It's so good. I loved it a whole lot. So yeah, all right. I finished 2 novellas and they both surprised me. And honestly, I feel like both of them were really excellent novellas. I mean, I am the type of reader who is usually not satisfied in a novella. I just don't feel like there's enough of what I'm wanting, and that's kind of what I got here. Like, I would have definitely preferred both of these to be full-length books. However, I absolutely loved each of them, and so I originally gave Curio 4 stars. I think that one's probably like 4.5. Like, I'm kind of tempted to give it 5 stars. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe my Goodreads will have a 5-star review. That one just surprised me so much, and I just really, really loved it. And then A Holiday by Gaslight is obviously like 5 stars. So I feel like both of them are in like the 4.5-star range, but for completely different reasons and completely different feelings. And I seriously just enjoyed them both. So if you are looking for a historical holiday romance and you like love like pining and small subtle gestures, you just have to pick up A Holiday by Gaslight. There is no steam in this at all, but I don't really feel like you need it. Or, I mean, I didn't need it for sure. It wasn't what I was like hanging on to, you know. I felt like the kisses were just like, oh, it was so good. It was beautiful. So all right, thank you for watching this episode of Vlogmas. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll see you in my next video.